I can never actually tell if these things have started. I think it has. Um, Hello again, and this is another video entry. It's the 8th of March, still, just about. There's about 15 minutes left. And I thought I would come and do another update. Firstly, I'll apologise for my appearance, but that's I've apologised. That's out of the way now. Firstly, that's sort of like the main thing that's kind of happened from last time is that I have actually managed to score myself a date. I know, shock horror, me on a date. Who'd have imagined it? It's with a friend of my sister's. I've known this girl for, I'm not going to tell you exactly how long, but it's been since primary school anyway. And I've always kind of had a bit of a crush on her in some form or another. It's never really been anything else though. She's an attractive girl, or at least I've always found her attractive. But for many reasons, it's just never really happened. I never ever thought she'd ever be interested in me for a start. She'd never given me any indication that she would be. I've spent a lot until the last couple of years. I was always in relationships for most of the. I was always in relationships for most of my sort of like dating years, if you like. So opportunities have never really arisen. But anyway, a couple of months ago, she started coming to me for music advice. Because back then I was still posting a lot of music on my Facebook wall, and sometimes she would play the tunes that I posted, and she would like some of them. She didn't really like any of the heavier, what she calls shouty stuff. Although, to be fair, most of what I listen to, the unclean vocals are not shouty vocals at all, but that's what she calls them. But she liked a lot of the more sort of clean vocal stuff that I posted, like Dead Letter Circus, Carnival, some of Tesseract stuff, things like that. So she started asking me to sort of like educate her in that way. So I put her onto a load of stuff, and from then we just started talking more. She dyed her hair red as well, which I found very odd. She put a post on Facebook. What color shall I dye my hair? And if I see anybody make a status or a post like that on any of the social networking sites, I will always say red. Any of you that have listened or watched, I should say, my videos before, or have paid any attention to me in real life or my blog will know that red is my colour. So yes, she dyed her hair red. We started talking more. A few weeks ago, she sent me a message saying that asking if I was going to the Protest the Hero show in Sheffield, and I said, of course. I bought my tickets the day they went on sale. It's Protest the Hero and Uneven Structure on the same bill. Of course I was going. And she ended up saying that she was going too, and that she asked if I wanted to hang out at the show. I wasn't going in with anybody else, so I agreed. I didn't really read too much into it, but then we started talking literally every day. This was like 9 days before the show, and then every day up until the show we'd spend quite a lot of time texting and talking. Again, I was trying not to read too much into it because I know what she's been like in relationships and the dating circle before. So I didn't read anything into it. And then she seemed genuinely upset when she couldn't make the protest show because she had tonsillitis. And she seemed genuinely upset. I thought, well, she's not that big a fan of Protest or any of the bands on that bill. Like I knew she was going to hang out with me mostly, but that just sort of like reaffirmed that that's what she was most disappointed about. So, I thought, sod this, there hasn't been a girl that has shown any interest in me in a while that I have had any interest in before. And while I've always had reservations about my interest in her, I thought, why not? I thought I'll try a new approach. I'm never going to meet anybody if I'm never gonna lower my standards, so to speak. I would never date somebody that I wasn't attracted to. I would never date somebody that I wasn't interested in at all. But I thought I had to be more proactive, and this is the first kind of like opportunity. I thought if nothing else, it would get me back into the dating game. So I just asked her if she fancied going on a date, and she said yes. So wow, that was easy. So I don't know why I hadn't done it before. And we've still been talking every day since. And she'd kind of asked me why I hadn't asked her before, and I always said that's because I assumed that she wouldn't be interested, and she always assumed that I wouldn't be interested. Now, obviously, my sister is a real complication as well. She's one of my sister's best friends. I'd always made a rule of not dating my sister's friends for my sister's benefit as much as anything else, because I wouldn't want to risk coming between her and any of her friends. My sister had joked at me before about my crush on her, because my sister had always known my sister's not an idiot. Um, so my sister had joked about me asking her out before, and I didn't even bother wasting my time. And the final sort of like obstacle which had put me off before was the fact that she has a son who is 3. I always said that I didn't want to get involved with somebody that had a child before me because too much history. I don't like using the term baggage, but I suppose it kind of is. I don't like the idea of a child being referred to as baggage. Everything that comes along with it, like the fact that the child has a father, the fact that I want to have children of my own one day, you know, um, it just raises a lot of questions and it makes things very complicated. I'm not sure. I've always considered myself a good guy, but I've never been sure if I was man enough to take on somebody else's child. But I figured we're going on a date, maybe a couple of dates. It might not even go anywhere. Like, I always seem to look too far into the future on these things. I focus too much on what might happen several years from now, when I should be making the most of what's happening actually now. I thought, here's an attractive girl who I really get on with, and it's clear that she was interested in going on a date. So fuck it, I might as well just go along with it, give it a go, and see how it goes. Um, so that's what's going to happen. I'm home in a couple of weeks. She lives in Sheffield, which is only an hour from my hometown anyway. So to make things easier, we're just going to hang out a few times over the Easter break, because in a couple of weeks I go home for Easter. So we'll hang out, we'll go on a couple of dates, and just see how it goes, because I'm not honestly expecting it to go anywhere, but I figure, I need to get back into the dating game at some point. I've been putting it off for long enough. I need to be more proactive about it. This is as good an opportunity as any, I guess. So wish me luck. I hope it goes well. I don't want it to go badly. Obviously, I'm not expecting to get married or even for it to get physical. I've told that straight away. I wasn't expecting anything to actually happen. I just want to see if anything could happen. See if there's any real chemistry there. See if there's any real spark. Because although I've known her most of my life, I haven't known her in that much detail. And whenever I've hung out with her before, like with my sister and her friends and everything, I've usually been very drunk. So it's not really a great way to sort of assess that kind of thing. So there we go. You know, that's the update on that. So wish me luck. Obviously, like when it comes to people in my blog, I follow a lot of great people. Some very attractive females, some great females. I wouldn't mind dating a few of them, but you know that's the way Tumblr works. You know, some of them live thousands of miles, some of them hundreds and hundreds of miles. Either way, it's just not realistic. But you know that's the way it is. I think we'd all have found our perfect person by now if it was that easy to date someone from Tumblr or someone from Facebook or Twitter or any of the other social networking sites that you use. But there we go. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll in a couple of weeks' time I'll let you know how it goes. University is a bit of a mixed bag at the moment. We're getting to the point now where it's becoming more intense. We're running out of time to do a lot of work, and I haven't really made any real effort with any of it yet. And I'm going to have to very shortly. Like, I know a lot of it that I can get done in quite a quick time, but there's other parts of it that I want to invest more time in because it's my last semester now before I graduate. So I want to end on a high. So I figure I should put more effort into it, but motivating myself to make that effort is really difficult. Motivation is something I find really difficult to cope with. But there we go. You know, my main issue is this research project. I'm still waiting on the ethics committee to confirm that it's okay for me to research what I want to research. I can't see it being a problem because I'm just looking at a school's behavioural management policy, looking at how it's implemented, whether the policy is actually followed properly, the teacher's perceptions of it, how it's changed, how it's evolved over the years, that kind of thing. That shouldn't be a problem at all. Even the children's perception of it. So we'll see how that goes. Not very interesting for you guys, I know, but it's something that does interest me. Before I finish, finally now, just do a little plug for a UK band called The Safety Fire. You can find them on Facebook. Safety Fire. They're signed to Inside Out Music, which I think is either has links with Century Media Records or is like a subsidiary of Century Media. Fantastic album, one of the best albums I've heard in absolute years. It says on the cover, if you're a fan of Cynic, Between the Buried and Me, and Carnival, you'll be a fan. They don't particularly sound like any of those bands, but I guess if you took elements from each of them, you would come to a sound that came close to this. And you know, if you're a prog and a tech metal fan, there's absolutely no reason that you shouldn't love this album. They're going on tour in North America with Protest the Hero, Periphery, Jeff Loomis, and Today I Caught the Plague, and they're doing a co-headline tour in the UK with the James Cleaver Quintet in a couple of weeks. So check them out if you're not already aware. Highly recommended. Fantastic album. I pre-ordered the album like a long time ago, but even though the album's been out for like nearly a couple of weeks now, the pre-order bundle only just arrived. That's the t-shirt that comes with it. Basically the cover on a white t-shirt. I don't really like wearing white, but I really wanted to support the band, so I wanted to give them as much money as I possibly could. Right, I've bored you all long enough now. Nice speaking to you again. Stay awesome. I know I will. And, you know, there's a comment section down below. Leave a comment if you want. Come to me and talk to me on Tumblr if you're following me on there. And if you're not following me on there and you're interested, again, message me and perhaps I'll pass on the details. So stay sexy, because I know that I will.